And welcome back. Is the Secretary of State's office messing up the school voucher referendum? Are Democrats Kyrsten Sinema and Greg Stanton a Democratic or a Republican dream team? We'll talk about all that and much more on our left-right debate with Marilyn Rodriguez, Democratic consultant at Creosote Partners, and Constantine Carrard, Republican consultant at Grassroots Partners. But they're both partners. Before we start, please let us know about any potential conflicts of interest with candidates or campaigns we might be talking about. Marilyn, anything?
Nope, I'm all
Nothing?
set.
Okay,
yeah.
Constantine.
I know we may talk about the Secretary of State. I'm working with Steve Montenegro's campaign for that, but I'll be kind.
And he's running in the Republican primary
Correct.
against Michelle Reagan. Good. Got that out of the way. So I reported late last week, the Democratic Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema is planning a run for the U.S. Senate for Republican Jeff Flake's seat, and Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton is prepping to run for Sinema's seat. Both have yet to announce. It could change, but I do not believe it will. Start with Sinema. Tell us why she can win this Senate seat or why she can't. Marilyn.
Well, yeah, and that's a great question. I think that for any Democrat that goes up against Senator Jeff Flake, he has a lot of problems going into the general election in that, he's facing a Republican primary where he has to run in Donald Trump's Republican Party. And then this is on the heels of voting to take away the health care of millions of Americans to give a tax cut to his wealthy donors. And I think if he makes it past the primary, which there are questions there, he's going to have to answer to voters on why he prioritized his wealthy donors over the millions of Americans who are going to lose their health care from that vote.
Flake in the Trump party, he's got the health care votes on his back, plus he's facing Kelly Ward and maybe more in the primary. Would Sinema, if he makes it all the way to the finals, is Sinema the candidate he really wants to face?
It'll be interesting. I mean, you just kind of basically heard Sinema's first TV ad, so you kind of know what the storyline is going to be. In her case, she's formidable in terms of being able to raise money. It is still a Republican state, so she has certain challenges, and of course there is no guarantee that she'll actually be running against Jeff Flake. It's unusual for an incumbent to be considered as vulnerable as he is, but there are several Republicans she could be running against instead, and that might really change the dynamic in a way that I think if she runs, she's counting on Flake.
Okay, so who are the other Republicans? Trent Frank's name has been out there. Is that a serious possibility?
I don't think Trent is interested in running for that primary. I think Jeff DeWitt, Robert Graham, Kelly Ward are sort of the names you hear most. If there was a congressman, maybe as a dark horse, maybe someone like a Paul Gosar, but I don't think Trent will.
Okay, Greg Stanton, running for the 9th district seat, was supposed to be a swing district, but Hillary Clinton won it by, I think, 15 last year. Is he a dream candidate for Republicans who want to run in that district?
He would be a preferred candidate. Again, it's an interesting thing because Phoenix is, it's a growing city, but it doesn't have a reputation really as a well-run city. It's always deficits. It's always higher taxes. They're taxing food. So from that standpoint, if fiscal issues and economic issues are what the economy is going to be on, I think there's a lot of material there for Republicans to make hay against someone like Stanton.
It's always tough for a mayor to run because they have records like that. So how tough would it be for Stanton to win a congressional race?
I think that, of course, he's going to have to, he has his record, and he is going to need to answer to that when he runs. I think he has a great record as mayor of Phoenix and is going to benefit from the fact that the city of Phoenix makes up a majority of the 9th district. But frankly, for any Democrat running in 2018, you're running against a Republican Party that up and down the ballot has the job of selling to voters that they do not stand for the same things that Donald Trump stands for, and I think that's going to be a pretty hard sell for them.
Okay, I want to touch on the voucher referendum real quick. How surprised were you by the 111,000 signatures they delivered, all volunteer force?
In that it was unprecedented, I'm a little surprised. Yeah, this is the first time in as long as I can remember that a majority volunteer-led referendum effort actually qualified for the ballot. But I am not really all that surprised, Bram. Arizona's parents are furious over the constant, what has amounted to a generation of legislative attacks on our public education. And even in my own day-to-day life, from the end of session to just last week, I couldn't go anywhere without running into a mom with a clipboard begging me to help her save our schools.
Constantine, if this makes it to the ballot, which appears fairly likely right now, can it win?
It can win. I don't think it will. I mean, at the end of the day, you had 111,000 people who signed a petition to deny 30,000 kids a better education. But you can't imagine that's actually why they signed. They were led to believe things about this issue that weren't true. And if there's actually a campaign on it, and people realize that it's 1.1 million school kids, and this is just 30,000 of them, and it's a chance for them to get better educations, I think people's heart goes out to the kids at the end of the day. So it may have a tough time at the ballot.
Okay, going to leave it there.